going to be giving a talk about shipping your projects. So we're all working on projects, right? I'm working on SharpNav. It's me, Sammy, Yuan, Renji, and Ryan. And that is a library that generates and pathfinds navigation meshes, all in managed C#, so it's going to be entirely cross-platform. And also, we're releasing this weekend. Version 1's coming out. Will version 1 suck? Yeah, probably. So why am I shipping it, right? I'm shipping it because I want to get some feedback from actual users so that I can focus my design for the API and the library in general and just the work I do based on what the users actually want, not what I think that they want, because there is a difference between those two things, and you can spend a lot of time working on just useless features that no one will ever actually use when you could just get actual feedback and then work on those things that people want immediately. So now, how do you get from just kind of a project that you're working on to something that's out in the wild that other people will use and that you can get feedback from, right? You should try to do everything that I'm going to talk about in this presentation. And if you don't have time to get all of these things done by like the first version, it's fine, because there's always version 1.1 or 2 or whatever. So the first thing I want to talk about is linting. Linting is going through your project, cleaning things up, making sure that everything is documented and then your code is styled consistently, right? So it doesn't matter if you like tabs or spaces or like 8 spaces for a tab or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just pick one and make sure that your project sticks to that. Have a set of guidelines for the style for your project and enforce it. In my case, I'm using both StyleCop and XCOP, but you can also use ReSharper for this a little bit. It's not free, I don't think. And also, if there are any glaring issues with your public API, anything's not clean or just doesn't make sense, clear it out and make it nice and clean. The other thing you want to do is, once you start releasing, you want to maintain a consistent way to version your project, right? So if your language or framework already has something built in for version numbering, like C# has their own version class that accepts 4 numbers that's major, minor, revision, build, then you want to use that because that's what is going to be integrated with everything else that the language or framework you're using has. If not, then you want to use this thing called semantic versioning. It's really simple. It's major.minor.patch, and then you can have a dash with any alphanumeric string for your pre-release. And then you also have metadata. The orange text there is a link, so I'm going to send out these slides afterwards and we can look at this. It's about 11 rules for exactly how to do this. These are all valid semantic version numbers. And the other thing is, I know a lot of these projects are hosted on GitHub, so you should be aware of a lot of things that GitHub has to help you manage releases and just get feedback. There are issues in the wiki, but there are also release tags, right? So you can create a release tag that's just V and then a number afterwards, and then push that tag up to GitHub, and there's a nice little page, user repository releases, that will track all of your releases, provide tarballs and zips for each of them, and then also show you how many downloads each one has. And GitHub will also host a website for you for free. All you have to do is you have to create a GitHub Pages branch, and then just put up some HTML, and then just push it out, and then all of a sudden, user.github.io/project becomes a fully working website, right? And if you want to have a domain name, it's very much possible to link it, and you can do this for free. You go to hackathons where Namecheap is hosting or is sponsoring. They give you these little free cards for 1 year or 1 year just for the domain name, not for hosting. So you just link it up with GitHub, and then you have sharpnav.com for a project for free. And there's also GitHub also provides a wiki, and so this is included with every project. It uses Git for versioning. What else are they going to use? And it's great for projects that need more than just the inline documentation. So if you need a user guide, a how-to, a high-level overview of what your project does if it's a large project, then this is perfect for that. Because people can just go there and be okay, here are the how-tos, here are the specific guides, and even if you want to, configuring it with a library, you can just have a page for that. It's just all there for you. It's very easy to use. And you can also make it editable by just anyone out there or collaborators. So if you want people to contribute back to it, you can do that. you don't like the idea of people being able to like, throw some spam in there, you can also restrict it. So the other important thing for when you're releasing a project is to use continuous integration. And continuous integration is an automatic compile that happens every time you push your code to GitHub, right? So Travis CI is a continuous integration service that is very well integrated with GitHub. And I set this up like last night for my project. What it does is you just give it like a YAML file, and it will then go and it will compile the project every single time that you push to GitHub. So it'll be it'll like configure the project on a virtual machine. It will compile it. It will run your unit tests, and it can also like output a zip file in exactly the format that you want. And it's very simple to use. And it will also like email you if you have unit tests that fail. It should be like, yeah, your project's still failing. And,
you suck.
Yeah, you suck. You should go yell at whoever wrote the build. And you can also use it to release from multiple targets simultaneously. Travis CI and most other continuous integration services have what's called a build matrix. So if you want to have like, Python 2, Python 3, and then also different versions of a bunch of libraries, you just list all of those. And then it will take your compile script and drop in all the different versions. And then all of a sudden you have like, 500 different versions being compiled because you have like 10 versions of, Django, and then 5 versions of Python. And it just matches them all up together and tells you which ones failed. It's really simple. This is a configuration that'll go through. It will configure the project. It'll compile the project. It'll run the project test suite for both GCC and Clang every single time that you push to GitHub. It's really nice and simple, and it's just very easy to use. I recommend that everyone starts using these because it just helps so much. The other thing, another thing that's very useful is package managers. A lot of languages and frameworks will have their own like package management system, and it's just very easy. Like you can either be like pip install for Python or C# has NuGet, and you can just use that to download a project and also keep it up to date with different as you release versions. So this is probably the easiest way to get more users, because if there's someone using your language or framework, they're going to immediately go to their package manager and then like search for I need navigation meshes, right? And then they'll see if there's anything there, and their search might stop there, right? Because they might see something. It might not be the best thing. It might not be your library, but it'll be something, and we'll just use that instead. So you should go and put your project on these package managers, and then you'll get more users, right? And the last thing you want to do after you've done all of this, after you have a release, is go and tell people about it, because if no one knows about your library, no one's going to use it. So if you frequent programming forums, go talk about your library there, show them like download links and everything. If you want, like search through Stack Overflow and see if anyone's having like specific issues that your project solves, and then mention it. Even like if you want to like go make tutorial videos for your project or something, go do that. Just make sure you have a pop screen so that it isn't annoying when you talk. Whatever you do, just don't be spammy about like telling people about your library, because nobody likes that. No one likes it when you go and they're like, hey, look at my project, hey, look at my project, hey, look at my project, without some sort of reason, If you're on a programming forum, then like, oh, I implemented this cool feature, go check out the project, instead of just, here's my project. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. That should take you from project to something released. Thank you to the regular people. And are there any questions about any of this?